What's up everyone, it's Raven Maureen and I am back today with a pattern review for Mccall's 7682. So I think this dress is actually really great for this week in particular. Friday is Good Friday. I don't know if most of you celebrate Easter, but I actually think this is like good church dress. You know what I'm saying? So if you're up for that, make sure you stick around. Or if you just want like a really cool spring dress, might be in for a treat as well. So let's get into it. This is the pattern envelope for McCall 7682. I actually made view D, and I have some notes on just the construction, what I loved, what I didn't love, what I do differently, and all that good stuff. So view D is basically the long sleeve version. It's got puffy sleeves and it's got cuffs with 2 buttons on each cuff. It's got a curved hem and it's also got a facing for that neck part, and then of course a raglan sleeve, which if you know me by now, you know that I love a raglan sleeve. And so this is on the model really hitting right at her knee, and I took this up about 1.5 inches before I actually cut into my fabric, and it still hit me right about here. And then when I actually started making it and started realizing where that hem was falling, I actually took off an additional 1.5 inches, but more on that later. So I cut out a size 16, which in all honesty, because of the fabric choice that I made, I probably should have cut a size 14. And the fabric is actually from Melanated Fabrics. I got it in October of last year. It's about 2.5 yards of this really pretty blush rayon challis. I believe I've seen Brittany J. Jones make something out of the same fabric. It's just like gorgeous. And I actually took pictures in my home to avoid creasing my dress for the pictures, which I know is not very realistic for like when you're actually like going to wear this out, but for the aesthetic, I didn't want any creases in my dress, so I gave it a good press. I took my pictures and it all worked out. So here's what I love. I love the sleeves. I love the sleeves on view D. Not crazy about the grommets on view B. I'm really not into grommets like that, but view D just had my heart, right? And so I love the sleeves. I love a raglan sleeve. I even like that it was like almost like this tent dress, but not like an overpowering tent dress. Tent dresses for me tend to either be really great or really not so great. When I looked at just the overall construction of this and how it really fell over the top portion of the bodice, I was like, I think this is actually going to work for my frame. So here's what I didn't love. This pattern, for all intents and purposes, it does look like it is a easy pattern. However, there are some tricky steps in here. So I cut out my pieces and I did my darts and I connected my sleeves and whatnot, but truth be told, there is a seam right here at the sleeve. It's not 2 sleeve pieces, it's literally just a seam here, and it connects like a dart. So that was interesting. I don't think I've ever done a sleeve like that before, and I wasn't even really sure how I wanted to press it. Like, I pressed on the hem, but did I want that dart to really be a dart? I was still like not sure about that design element. Then I think the worst for me was the neckline. Like, I feel like this honestly delayed my project a little bit, because the neckline called for, the pattern piece was like a circular facing, and like if you look here, it's like a circular facing and then a little bit more. And I looked at that and I thought, oh, it must be bias tape. When I got that facing on there, it wouldn't even curve the way I needed it to curve. So I actually ended up making my own bias from my own fabric and just kind of doing my own thing, because they wanted you to kind of make this weird, very weird neckline. And then on top of that, it does call for a hook and eye on the back. I actually don't think it needs the hook and eye. Now, I made it, there is an actual hook and eye in the back of mine and whatnot, but I don't know, it wasn't necessary. I feel like in a way, if your head's not too big, you could probably just close that whole center back seam up and just pull it over your head. I'm not even gonna lie. So the other thing with the collar, I did stay stitch it immediately after I cut it. I sometimes feel like with McCalls and sometimes Simplicity patterns, they ask you to stay stitch necklines like further down the line. I just always almost immediately stay stitch it, and even with the stay stitching, I still had issues with attaching the original pattern piece for the collar. So again, if you're gonna make this, make your own bias binding for your collar. The other thing that I didn't love, so I loved the element of it, but I didn't really love the construction of it, was the curved hem. So again, working with rayon challis, it does have a tendency to stretch and grow a little bit. And so my curved hem, it actually didn't stretch and grow that much. Like my curved hem facing piece and my curved hem were still both the same size once I got to that part. But I think that for me, the curved hem in the back was almost like too low in the back, if that makes sense. And so even with like my adjustments and whatnot, it still just was a little too low for me. And I don't know, it was just interesting. So I think next time, because there is an option to do like a straight hem for the front and the back right here, I think I might like, if I were to do this again, I would probably do just the straight hem all the way across, because the curved hem almost gave it like tunic vibes a little bit. So here's a few things that I wish that this pattern had. I'm gonna have my notes here. Okay, so I think it's a combination, what I'm about to say is a combination of the fabric that I used and just maybe a little bit of the construction of the garment. So while I do like the tent dress feel of it, I do think that this could have, in a way, maybe had like some back darts, just some princess darts in the back, just a little bit, just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like just a little piece, you know? Again, I didn't think the hook and eye was that necessary. So I actually do have plans to make this again, but I'm also a little like conflicted, like, do I want to make this again right now? Should I wait or whatever? But this is, I'm gonna put it up, this is kind of what I was thinking that I wanted to do for the next time that I do make it. I think it actually could be really cute, and I actually bought some fabric for it. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, so I do think that this fabric could make for like a nice dupe for that dress, but again, I still haven't decided, so you might see it, you might not see it, you might see it in something totally different. Y'all know how I roll. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.